Everyone deserves to be seen and heard, felt, considered, acknowledged. Every culture that has ever existed has a gift to offer, and that's a reflection of God's love to the world.
This all started in December of 23. I had a lot of pain in my right glute, top of my butt, and they thought I had prostate cancer in June. I was diagnosed officially in August. And in the whole time, it became where I couldn't sit on my right side at all. My primary care physician told me that I needed to see a pain management doctor. And my urologist said the same thing, and so I go see a pain management doctor, and he tells me I have piriformis syndrome, which is where the muscle slides across the sciatic nerve and creates excruciating pain. Down my right leg, it would shoot me out of bed at night. I could put no pressure on the right side of my body, and I could not function. The only place I can really sit comfortably is in my recliner. If I stood more than an hour, hour and a half, I was sweating, shaking. And I was talking to one of my best friends, and he said, you need to try acupuncture. You've tried everything else. I've been through 5 doctors now. You need to try acupuncture.
I remember the first time that I met Kevin, our first session, I asked him, what is your pain not allowing you to do? And he said, I can't ride my bike. Like, I've been riding for years, and that's all I want to do. I just want to be able to ride my bike and not be in pain.
And I came in on the 14th of January. They actually did bleeding on me.
I was very honest with him. I told him, okay, if this doesn't make a difference today, I just don't know if acupuncture can help. And he said, okay.
And I woke up January 15th, 2025, and had 0 pain. 0, none. I could sit, I could actually function, and I knew that day that I could fix this.
And the next morning, I remember my front desk said, Kevin called, and I said, well, what did he say? You know, he said he has no pain. I
got to ride my motorcycle for the first time in almost a year. You know, when you're riding 1,000 pounds of motorcycle, it's just riding right on that muscle, and it was excruciating. I couldn't do it. They gave me my life back. It's changed the way I look at the gym. It's changed the way I look at my physical body. And you go through physicians who tell you, well, take this medication, or try this, or try that. Nothing worked, nothing. And they had me on some pretty powerful pain medication. When I started coming here, those pain medications are gone. I haven't taken a pain pill in months. I get out of bed every day thanking God that I can do what I can do. I feel like I'm normal again. These people saved my life, and I'll be forever grateful.
I had been trying to have another child for about 2.5 years before I came to Center for Healing Arts. I have 2 beautiful children and really didn't have difficulty getting pregnant with either of them. And when we went to have a 3rd child, we had 2 traumatic miscarriages. One was at 10.5 weeks and one was at 14 weeks, 2 little girls, and nobody had answers. We had every test done under the book, and everybody said there's no reason that you should be losing these babies. So after taking a few months to try to process and grieve and breathe, I realized that traditional medicine is not gonna get the answers that I need. And I had a friend that had worked with Jessica, and she said, hey, I think you've said you've done acupuncture before. Have you thought about it for fertility? And I hadn't, honestly. I knew that people who are going through IVF and people who are going through fertility treatments often try acupuncture, but for some reason I just hadn't thought of it yet. So we decided to give it a try and have a consultation with Jessica and see if she thought she could help me on my journey.
We worked on her immune system, we worked on her blood flow, and she became pregnant. And I said, you know, you really need to make sure that you come in once a week for the first trimester to make sure that we strengthen the pregnancy, we stabilize your hormones. And she was on board, and she did just that.
I think it was the 1st or 2nd treatment I left here and just felt more relaxed. Like I could immediately feel in my body that something was changing. I remember getting in my car and leaving and just feeling like I could breathe a little bit better. I put in the work, and I was here, I think, every single week for a year. And I have a beautiful 9-month-old baby now. While we were in delivery, there had been a random pop-up storm. My husband decided to go home to our 2 older children and let them know that, the baby was born and everything was good. And when he walked out, there was a double rainbow. And I can't help but think that that was our 2 other girls that we lost looking over us and saying that this is where we needed to be, and this was all part of the plan for us. And I think there wasn't a dry eye in that delivery room, because when you've tried so long and so hard and fought to do everything you can to have that moment, everything changes. And I am forever grateful to my experience here to help me get that.
I was raised on a dairy, been working my whole life in construction, and started having back issues. Of course, I've had a horse or 2 rear up and fall over on me, have cows eat me up in a time or 2. And then I had developed allergy-induced asthma also. And so it helped my back so well, I started questioning, can it help my asthma? And so when I first started, I was taking a preventative inhaler every morning. I was hitting a rescue inhaler every day, at least once a day, and doing a nebulizer at night every night. We started working on it. I got to where I didn't have to have the nebulizer. Then slowly but surely through the acupuncture, I've dropped and I'm not taking any of those things anymore. I've been able to do things that I couldn't for a lot of years because of the asthma and because of what it would do. So this has actually just let me basically do whatever I want to again. I don't have to worry about getting on a horse and riding through the pasture and having an asthma attack or anything like that. Now I just get on and ride and don't even think twice about it. Kim always cups me whenever I'm here. She put that first cup on, and all of a sudden I could take a big deep breath and blow it out and not cough and not have any issue. It's just amazing how it makes you feel at the end of the session. I tell everybody this is the best sleep I get every 2 weeks. Kim gets me set up, gets the needles put in, I lay there and relax and I go to sleep, and I mean, it's like a hard sleep.
So Chinese medicine explains that all disease is basically from an imbalance of qi. Qi is basically just energy that we have in the body that propels everything, all of our systems, every single one of our cells, our circulatory system, our nervous system, our lymphatic system, right? All of those systems need energy to function. So this energy travels in pathways, which we call meridians. And along these meridians, we have very specific points that collect energy. And these points each have a very specific function. So some points can really move energy and move blood. Some points can clear heat or inflammation. Depending on what we're treating, we use very specific points to affect the qi or energy in these pathways.
The body and the mind connection are so integral. One is the mirror of the other. And my modality is to work through the embodied knowledge that we all carry, but some of us don't have the language to access. I sometimes call it somatic archaeology.
When the body is able to trust, it's able to open up and heal.
Every session kind of brings these wonderful moments of opening, and I just think that's really unique to this place and to the people that work here.
I knew that it was my responsibility when I acquired this practice to shift the mindset on acupuncture, because most people view it as woohoo science or just kind of this thing that you try as a last resort.
I think media has made it out to be kind of voodoo, and you're not supposed to dabble in that. That's just not the way to be. And I'm going against the grain, and I'm so glad I did.
You know, there is a link between like your gut and your mental health. But Chinese medicine figured that out a long time ago.
I mean, it's kind of amazing sometimes how immediate the treatments can take effect. I think about when I'm having seasonal allergies or I'm congested from a cold, and with a couple of quick placements, I'll walk out and already feel everything draining out of my sinuses. And it's really incredible.
I want people to know that acupuncture is real medicine. It is healthcare, and the center is a place that you can come for true healing.
I always say, Kim, you healed me. You healed me. And she's like, no, your body healed you. But she was the conduit.
We are not miracle workers. We are vessels because all healing comes from, whether you want to call it God, the universe, encompassing love, however you want to name that, that's where healing comes from.
And along my journey, I said that all of the people who were going to care for me needed to be people who were in my corner and treated me like a person who was going through something really heavy and not like another patient booklet.
When you get to know a patient, you're seeing them on a weekly basis. You get to know about their life.
And then I think the most important thing is that we listen. Chinese medicine tends to be a lot about observation of people, about seeing not only what they're saying, but how they're saying it. In spending time in doing that, that creates a trust because so many people aren't listened to.
As things began to be driven by the traditional medical model, we lost the ground from which we understood our body, our earth, our land, and that when we go back into that knowing and understanding that the body begins to come into a natural sense of harmony and balance.
The NIH, the WHO, have all done studies with acupuncture to show that it helps with many conditions. And it's not a time commitment of years before you will know whether it works for you. Typically, if it doesn't help you within 4 to 6 treatments, then you're gonna have to look for something else.
If you've ever been in pain, constant pain, not just, oh, it hurts when I do this or that. I'm talking every breath, every step, every time you set. You take for granted those things. I'm back in my shop. I'm back building things. I'm back riding my bike. I've got probably another week and a day's worth of cancer radiation treatments. But when I'm done with that, I'll be here every other week like I have been. And I don't see that changing because it's probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me as far as any kind of medical thing. I trust Jessica implicitly. If a doctor told me something, I'd run it through her first, to be honest with you.
People will call me a healer, and I always say, I'm not a healer, I just help people in their own healing journey. I think the true healer is the person that I'm treating.
I feel like modern medicine really excels in acute situations. I always tell somebody, if you are in the middle of having a heart attack or a stroke, don't even call me, go straight to the hospital. Where I feel like ancient practices really help is for the more chronic kind of conditions where the body has gotten out of balance.
I would tell every person out there that is suffering, and I mean really suffering, come try this. You will be amazed what happens to your life when you do this.
This is kind of funny. My wife's family is all Catholic and go to Christmas Mass every year. They walk down the aisle with the incense, slinging it through, and always had asthma attacks and stuff during that, have to get up and leave. We were sitting there one Christmas Eve Mass, and they come down the aisle with the incense, and nothing bothers me. My daughter looks at me and she goes, "You're not having a fit this time." I said, "No." I said, "I've been telling y'all, my acupuncture has been working." So it wasn't just me that noticed. The family noticed that I wasn't having the issues that I did before.
I am a full believer that acupuncture helped me have a healthy pregnancy. Nothing else changed. I didn't do anything different other than start coming here and taking care of my body in a different way. And when I had my baby, I'll never forget, I had to call to cancel a session because I had had my child and I was in the hospital still, and I called and said, "Hey, I can't come, I had my baby," and everyone's response was just pure joy. And I didn't expect that either, but to find somewhere where the people actually care about you is really amazing. And in traditional medicine, that's not common.
Gave me my freedom back. My freedom from having to be hooked on the steroid system, getting freed up to be able just to go do whatever you want to do and not have to worry about having a major asthma attack, having to have an inhaler with you all the time. This has just completely freed me from having to be with all of that at every time.
Everything about this place truly is healing, whether it's emotionally healing when you're going through times of turmoil or transition, or physically healing when you're in pain or suffering, or you just can't catch your breath because your allergies are so bad. It really is remarkable how much better you feel from the moment you walk in the doors. You're just kind of like a new person sometimes.
This is not only a practice, but it is an art. And that the experience itself will speak to you. And if you have the inclination, if you've already come across the website, I'm going to ask someone to follow the curiosity to see what could be possible here, to see what the conversation has to offer. And that conversation could lead you to some really great places.